The sound of a 90-pound Rottweiler knocking a toddler to the floor is unmistakable. Emily heard it from the kitchen. That heavy, dull thud that makes every parent's blood stop. She dropped the dish towel and ran. Bear had Ethan pinned. The toddler was flat on the carpet, face up, the dog's massive head lowered directly over the child's face. Ethan was crying, not screaming, just that confused, frightened cry that meant something hurt but nothing was broken yet. No! Emily grabbed the dog's collar and pulled hard. Bear resisted. For the first time since they'd brought him home 3 years ago, he didn't obey immediately. His body was rigid. His eyes stayed locked on Ethan. She pulled harder. Ethan sat up, tears streaming, reaching for Emily. No visible injuries, no blood, just scared. That had been real. She scooped Ethan up and carried the toddler to the couch, heart still racing. Bear stood exactly where she'd pulled him, staring at them both. His tail wasn't wagging. His ears were forward, alert, just watching. When Mike got home that evening, Emily was still shaken. She explained what happened, the sound, the way Bear had Ethan on the floor, the way he wouldn't move when she called him. Mike knelt down and checked Ethan carefully. No bruises, no bumps. The toddler was already playing again, completely fine. But Emily wasn't fine. He's never done anything like that, Mike said. I know. That's what scares me. Mike looked at Bear. The dog sat in the corner of the living room, steady. Maybe it was an accident. Maybe Ethan startled him. It didn't feel like an accident. It felt deliberate. That night, they kept Bear in the laundry room while Ethan slept. It felt wrong. He'd never been locked away before. But Emily couldn't shake the image of that moment. The weight of the dog on top of their child. The next morning, it happened again. Emily was changing Ethan's diaper when Bear came into the nursery. He walked directly to the changing table and pressed his nose against Ethan's face. Not sniffing, pressing. She said it louder. Bear. Back. Now. She physically pushed him away. He took 2 steps back, then immediately moved forward again, nose going straight to Ethan's mouth. Emily's patience snapped. Out! Now. Bear finally left, but only after she raised her voice to a level that made Ethan start crying. That afternoon, the vet listened carefully, asked questions. How old was Bear? Had there been any other behavior changes? Any aggression toward other people? No, just Ethan. The vet was quiet for a moment, then said, "It might be stress. Sometimes dogs react unpredictably when there's a baby in the house, especially if they were used to being the center of attention." Emily thanked her and hung up. Bear couldn't stay. Mike didn't want to believe it. He'd raised Bear from a puppy, trained him, trusted him. He'd heard the description of that moment, the dog on top of their child, refusing to move. That night, Bear slept in the garage. Emily lay in bed, staring at the ceiling. She felt guilty. She felt like she was betraying a family member. But every time she closed her eyes, she saw Bear's head hovering over Ethan's face and her chest tightened. At 2:47 a.m., the baby monitor lit up. Ethan was crying. Not the usual fussy cry. Something else. A strange, weak sound. Emily sat up immediately and grabbed her phone. The video feed showed Ethan in the crib, barely moving. She ran. When they opened the nursery door, Bear was already inside. He'd somehow gotten out of the garage, somehow made it through the house, somehow opened the nursery door, or it hadn't latched. He was standing on his back legs, front paws on the crib rail, nose pressed against Ethan's face. "Bear, get back!" Mike grabbed the dog and pulled him away. Emily reached into the crib and lifted Ethan. The toddler's skin was pale. The crying had stopped. Something's wrong. The paramedics arrived in 6 minutes. One of them took Ethan from Emily's arms, checked vitals, asked rapid-fire questions. When did this start? Any vomiting? Any known allergies? The second paramedic noticed Bear. He was standing in the hallway, completely still, eyes fixed on Ethan. Has the dog been acting strange? Emily nodded, barely able to speak. Yes. Then looked at Emily. We need to get to the hospital. Now. Then she came back into the room with a printout and a very serious expression. Your Eson's airway was partially blocked, the doctor continued, her voice calm but firm. Another 8 minutes, and we would be having a very different conversation. What made you bring Ahem in tonight? Emily explained the crying, the monitor, the pale skin. And the dog? Emily looked at Mike. He looked back at her. He wouldn't leave Ethan alone. We thought he was being aggressive. Dogs can detect breathing obstruction before we can. It's documented. The change in scent and breath chemistry. They pick it up long before symptoms are visible to us. He was trying to tell you. I'm sorry, she whispered. I'm so sorry. No one asked him to. He just did.